This lecture will talk about disputes, discourse, and then linguistic vices. Before we ended Unit 2, there were some examples of some statements. I wanted us to check for the problems with those definitions. So let's quickly look at them and then we'll continue with our Unit 3. So I was explaining the difference between broad and narrow. So for example, 2, a dragon is a prehistoric creature. It's broad. This definition is very broad because if you look at prehistoric creatures, there are a lot of them. You have the dinosaurs and the others. So you can see the definition is what covering other things which cannot be considered as what as a dragon. So it is what broad. The definition is also referring to what other things. Okay. Then narrow. The meaning of evil is murder. So over here, not everything is included. Um, Abortion can also be evil. Oppression can also be what? Evil. Cruelty can also be considered as evil. So in this case, everything is not included. It's too what? Narrow. You haven't said everything. You haven't said everything to what? To denote what? Evil. So that's the difference between what? Broad and narrow. So for broad, you've included what? Other things which are not even needed. But in narrow, you didn't include things which are what? Which are even needed. Okay, then the example 4, efficiency is being efficient at what you do. So this is circular because you can see that what the definition is what repeating what the definiendo. And this is what we also call what, begging the question. Begging the question. So it is tautology. Then example 5, religion is the opiate of masses. Yes, this is not clear. Who are the masses? And what religion are you talking about? So this is what very, very vague. It is not precise. It is not specific. So here it's not giving us enough information. Then the last example, voter ladies are snobs. This is also not specific. So what qualifies them to be snobs? You see, so this is also what vague. All right, so we can begin our unit 3. So we are unit 3 now. So we are looking at disputes. So a dispute is what? Simply a disagreement between two or more people. So we have verbal dispute and substantive what? Dispute or disagreements. So a dispute is said to be verbal if the two parties are using the same word inconsistently. So here it is the meaning of the word that's what causing what? The dispute. So we can resolve such a dispute by giving a stipulative what? Meaning of the word. And remember the stipulative definition. We said what? It's a definition, it's a type of definition that has to do with agreement between what? A particular group of people. So a particular group of people have agreed that this is how we use this word. They've agreed to use their word in a particular context. And in our previous lesson, we said a classical example was what? The use of jargons is a what? Stipulative what? Definition. So we can resolve a verbal dispute by giving what? A stipulative definition of what? Of the word being used. Maybe because of how the two parties are using the word, they are disagreeing. Okay. Then substantive dispute. So this one has to do with facts. We are all having different facts about something. Then this is what? A substantive dispute. So if there is a dispute and you try giving a stipulative definition of some words or terms, and so the dispute is not being resolved, then it is what? A substantive dispute or disagreement. So we'll look at some examples shortly. So these are what? Disputes between what? Kofi and Amma. So let's take the first example. Kofi says the student is using a pen to write, and Amma says no, you are mistaken. That is called a marker. So what type of dispute is going to be this? This is what? A verbal dispute. Inconsistency in the use of what? The same word. So here Why are they what? Disputing about this? Simply because Kofi is writing, and the two that Kofi is the two that the student is using to write. That is why what they are arguing. One is saying it's a pen, one is saying what it is a marker. So here, if we explain to them and they all agree that if you are writing, if the student is writing on paper, it should be a pen, and if the student is writing on a whiteboard, then it should be a marker. Then these disputes can be what can be resolved. So this is what a verbal dispute, because it can be settled by giving what a stipulative what definition. So here they are disputing because of the writing material. So this one is going to be what a verbal dispute. Now the second example, Kofi says J.J. Rawlings was not a Ghanaian because his father is Scottish. And Amma says no, he was a Ghanaian since he was our president who had a Ghanaian mother and held a Ghanaian passport. So this one is based on what? Facts. It's based on facts. They are all having what? Different facts about what? J.J. Rawlings. And you can't go and settle this by giving any stipulative definition. So this is what? A substantive disagreement. Then the third example, Kofi says, Kwame has a new laptop. Then Amma says, no, his brother gave him his old computer, which he upgraded. So this is basically what? A verbal dispute, because the two of them are disagreeing based on the word new. So a new laptop, that is what is causing them to what? Disagree. And if you explain the meaning of new to both of them, they will understand. I think Amma will now understand Kofi, or Kofi will now understand Amma. So this is what a verbal dispute. Then we have this. Kofi says the capital city of Ghana is Accra, and Amma says no, the capital city of Ghana is Kumasi. So this is based on what? Facts. So this is a substantive disagreement or argument. Then the last example, Kofi says she's a nurse. Amma says no, she's a health worker instead. So what will this be? This will also be what? A verbal what? Dispute. Why are they disputing? Because of what? Their role in health, in what? In healthcare. Both of them are talking about what? Somebody's role in what? Healthcare, but they are using it what? Inconsistently. So it's what? A verbal dispute. So now we are on linguistic vices. So what are they? These are what? Often offenses that we commit as we what? Express ourselves. And when we commit them, we are unable to convey what? The necessary information to our audience. So we have three linguistic vices. We've seen one already. Okay, we've seen two already. So we just add the other one. We've seen equivocation and vagueness. So we'll add what? Ambiguity. So let's look at ambiguity. So ambiguity is a linguistic vice. When something is ambiguous, what does it mean? It means that it's confusing, right? Yes. It can is an expression that conveys more than what? One meaning. So it can either be what? The word or the whole sentence that is what? Conveying what? More than one meaning. Usually ambiguous statements or sentences or expressions convey about two meanings. So when you are asked to disambiguate an expression, it means I would give the two meanings to that expression. So an expression is said to be what? Ambiguous if it's having what? More than one meaning. Most of them will have like two. So let's take these examples. So in your IA and exams, you'll be given what? Statements what? To disambiguate. So these are all ambiguous statements. So you'll be asked what? Disambiguate. So if you are asked to disambiguate them, you are basically going to what? Give the two meanings. The meanings to what? That particular expression or statement. So I rode a black horse in a red pajamas. This is ambiguous. It can mean that you rode you wore a red pajamas and rode a black horse, or the black horse was wearing the pajamas and you rode it. You see, so you can have what? Two meanings. So this one too. John took off his trousers by the bank. It can mean that what? He took off his trousers by a bank where we keep money, or he took off his trousers by what? A river bank. Police kills man with knife. This can mean that what? The police killed a man holding a knife, or the police used a knife to kill what? The man. Kids make nutritious snacks. So it can mean that what? The kids actually prepare the snacks which are nutritious, or it can mean that the kids themselves are nutritious to eat. You see. Now, stolen jewels discovered by tree. So it can mean the tree discovered the stolen jewels, or the stolen jewels were found by the tree. So the passerby helps dog bite victim. It can mean that the passerby helped a dog to bite a victim, or he helped somebody who has been bitten by what? A dog. So these are all ambiguous statements. So the other linguistic vices will be what? Equivocation and vagueness, which we've seen already, but we'll hit on it again. We already established the fact that equivocation is what has to do with the use of the use of different connotations of the same word with the intention to what? Persuade or manipulate someone without a signal, without any sign of the shift. So if you look at this example, I don't see how you can say you are an ethical person. It is so hard to get you to do anything. Your work ethic is bad. You see, and in our previous lesson, I gave an example where the employer was saying we need workers who are what? Responsible, and the applicant said, "Oh, then I am the one you are looking for." In my previous company, anytime something went wrong, they said I was responsible. You see, so this is what equivocation. You are trying to what? Persuade someone by using what? Different connotations of the same word. So here we can see that the ethic is having what? Different connotations over here. Then vagueness. The information is not enough, it's not precise, it's not clear. So this example, mom asks, "What did you do at school?" Then the son says, "Stuff." The mom will be like, "What kind of stuff?" It's vague. The son is not being precise. He said he will be here any moment from now. You wait, son, the person is not coming. If you ask her any moment from now, you wait, you keep waiting, son, the person is not being what? Precise. Ghana man time. We are sorry to say that we are looking for a younger person for the job. A younger person. Okay. But you are not being specific. You didn't even give us any age range or anything. So if I'm maybe 27 years old and you're looking for a younger person, so okay, what about somebody who is 15 years old, 10 years old? Are they also included in the kind of people you're looking for? So you're not being what? Precise over here. So these are the linguistic vices: vagueness, equivocation, and what? Ambiguity. So now we are left with discourse, types of discourse. Then we are done with unit 3. So types of discourse. We have narrative, instruction, rhetorical, polemic, and argument. These are the 4 types of discourse you will study here. So narrative. A narrative is just a sequence of events in order of occurrence. So like when we were in primary and senior high school, you'll be asked to write what? A narrative essay. So let's say for example, I want to give a narrative. I wake up early, pray, and remind myself why I started. By day, I'm a medical student at Legon, learning how the human body works and teaching others so no one is left behind. By night, I plan lessons, record videos, and quiet dreams online. So this is what? Just a narrative. Okay. Then we have what? An instruction. So this one is going to describe a sequence of things to do in a specific order. So you want to, let's say, let me give an example. If you're at main campus and you want to go to Medina, just walk to Okponglo Junction and board a trotro that is going to Medina. If you hear the mates shouting Medina, Medina, that is the one you should board. Once you get inside, you sit down, you make your 5 Ghana cedis ready to pay the fare. When you arrive at Medina station, you will see a taxi rank. Over there, you can board a taxi to your final destination, anywhere you are going to. So this is what? Like a kind of an instruction. Then rhetorical polemic. Here you are communicating a strong feeling or an opinion. For example, we trusted them with our vote, yet they betrayed us with what? Darkness. Our promises are met with doomsday. Our frozen foods have gone bad. How long are we going to endure leaders who turn trust into decay? This is an example of what? A rhetorical what? Polemic. Another example is um, I promise on my honor to be faithful and loyal to Ghana, my motherland. You are venting what? An opinion, or you are communicating a strong feeling. We call it rhetorical polemic. Then we have argument. An argument contains a single conclusion based on reasons, premises, or what? Evidence. So here you are making a claim, and you are giving reasons why the claim should be what? Accepted. Your claim is your conclusion, and your reasons behind that, or your evidence, is what's called premise. So how will you know that this is your premise and this is your conclusion? There are some indicators that will help us to identify the conclusion and what? And the premise. For instance, if you see indicators like so, therefore, hence, this. So these indicators what? Will help us identify conclusions. If you also see some indicators like since, given that, if, provided, these indicators also show that what? This is what? A premise. Let's look at some examples. So we have this: all students write exams. Amma is a student, so she writes exams. So we can see that what? This is what? Our conclusion. And then here we are having what? This is a premise. This is also a premise. An argument with what? Two premises is called a syllogism. A syllogism is what? An argument with what? Two premises. Let's look at another one. Bats are mammals and they can fly. So some mammals can fly. So this is what? Our conclusion. And then we have what? A premise here, another premise here. So this is also a syllogism. Another example: war is wrong because it involves killing innocent people, and that is also wrong. Since we are seeing because here, whatever will follow will be our premise. So this is what? The conclusion. So it involves killing innocent people is our premise. That is also wrong is another premise. So another syllogism here. Humankind was created by aliens from another planet. A wise man once told me so. So what is your reason? Your reason is because a wise man once told you. So your reason is what? Your premise. So what would be the conclusion? The conclusion is what? Or what would be your claim? What are you trying to make us accept? Yeah, you want us to accept that humankind was created by aliens from another planet. So this forms what? Your conclusion. And then a wise man once told me so. It's your reason or your evidence. So that is your premise. This is the end of Unit 3.